Oh, here's gonna be a fun one, Hatchet. You're gonna like this. The Golden Horde, a time-traveling Mongol horde trying to find a place to bury their leader Genghis Khan, in the most unmarked grave they can manage to find. As you may expect, this leads to wacky temporal shenanigans via use of a Roman time machine.
Okay, so I guess um our main go-to will be SCP-4989.
Yeah. But what is this? The owner of the Overseer Council. That's already interesting to say the least.
Mhm.
Oh, it's dead.
I feel like we've looked at this at some point.
4989?
Yeah, but I can't remember jack shit about it. Oh, it's long. Well, if we want to read all of this, I'm not taking part on this one. I am very drained.
Alright. I I can read. I can read it. Alright. Alright. Description 4989 refers to a series of anomalous events. These events consist of a sudden manifestation of multiple humanoids. Here, hereafter referred to as -A instances in the vicinity of a particular individual or individuals. -A instances will then attempt to make physical contact with their targets, and if they successfully will demanifest after their target taking their targets with them. Oh, I know what these are. Yeah, these are. This is a very interesting one. All right. 4989-A, it sees all wear identical uniforms emblazoned with the logo of the SCP Foundation. These uniforms appear to be designed for cold weather usage and prevent any outside observers from seeing the entity beneath. As -A instances are able to demanifest at will and appear to automatically demanifest upon suffering serious or fatal injury. No detailed observations or interrogations have been made to date. Approximately 79% of 4989 events over the past 3 decades have targeted Foundation personnel, all of whom operated principally in combat-oriented roles. A further 16% of events have targeted members of the Aurea, and 3% have targeted members of other GOIs, and 2% have targeted individuals linked to national militaries. No other trends have been noted in 4989 events. 4989 events have been recorded as far back as 476 CE. A total of 909 events are known to have taken place, although the real figure is estimated to be much higher. Sharp increases in the number of events can be seen after the advert of firearms and following the establishment of the Foundation in the Aurea. If I remember correctly, the Aurea is the Islamic artifacts group of interest.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Addendum 1. Please note that due to the retirement of Dr. Mary McKenzie, Dr. Simon Kills has temporarily taken over as project manager for 4989 due to Dr. Kills' impending redacted and his involvement with the design of the planned Site 89. A replacement is suspected to be found by December 24th, 2018. So far, what does this have to do with the Golden Horde?
Keep reading.
Yeah, Addendum 2. The following is a list of particularly notable 4989 incidents. Okay, this is probably where it is.
Yeah, because I recall us reading this when doing uh the thing for that one GOI.
Aurea?
Yeah, Aurea. So like I vaguely remember that, and I remember this is where we heard of it first, but yeah.
Yeah, so we probably get the information from Golden Horde in this addendum. Incident 4989-1, date and location, 476 Rome. Several former individuals abducted, several former members of the Emperor's Personal Guard. First recorded 499 event, the continuation chronicle of Gregory describes men in black clothes with the letters SCP emblazoned on their arms shortly after the time of Romulus Augustulus' deposition. Alright, Incident 4989-5, 860s Sistan. Did I actually say that correctly?
I have no clue.
Alright. Oh, fuck.
What?
Several Arian. I'm sorry if I butchered that. An early form of Islamic holy warrior who made up of the backbone of the Safarid state. The Tariq-e-Yaqub reports that a punitive expedition against the Zunists of Afghanistan was prevented by an 4989 event featuring several men dressed head to toe in black and with words in the Frankish script emblazoned on their arms. The author Rashid Yahya al-Tamimi noted their discussion of a red Shah. Alright. Incident 4989-24, 1366 Susho. Several gunnery experts in the Yuan army. These events were widely observed at the time. It has taken an extremely significant effort to suppress documents related to this event and remain by far the most problematic 4989 event to fully contain. Incident 4989-25, 1440s Mayapan. Several members of Mayapan's royal house, along with multiple Mayan warriors. Incidents recorded entirely through a later Mayan codex. Attached pictures are the earliest known visualizations of 4989. This event apparently has seen the city's decline as the cultural and political capital of the later Maya civilization. It's a rare example of a major impact occurring as a result of a 4989 event. Incident 4989-89, 1824, London to Norwich Road. The entirety of 054's personal guard. First event targeting Foundation members recorded in the year of the Foundation's establishment, notable for deliberately not targeting 054, who later reported that they apologized to him and stated simply that they needed more bodies for the wall. Okay, before I continue, that is impressive to take on the 05's personal guard, because that's the Red Hand, and they're better at stuff than Samsara, who is the flesh of literal god. So being able to take them down is impressive, to say the least.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that. Incident 4989-211, 1929, Tehran. 6 members of the original Oriya Task Force. First event targeting Oriya personnel. Witnesses report conversation in Persian taking place between the -A instances. 1489-537, 1979, Armenian countryside. All combatants in the Oriya Foundation skirmish. This caused a significant de-escalation of hostilities between the Foundation and the Oriya for a number of years, as the abrupt loss of contact with the task forces involved led both sides to believe that the other possessed an especially destructive and silent weapon. Security camera footage revealed this to be and 1489 event in 1987, information was shared with the Orient for purposes of mutual containment. I find it funny that the war just stopped because they thought each other had a secret weapon. It was just this anomaly. Alright. Incident 4989-842, 2006, Minnesota. Two members of the 054's guard team. This occurred during a major containment breach. N-8 instance was heard to shout that they were in the wrong time shortly before their demanifestation. Alright.
Oh.
Okay, so I guess we gotta go further for the Golden Horde. Alright. Addendum 3. On... Wait, I can't tell if this is supposed to be backwards or not. Was there a previous date earlier? Okay, so it is backwards. I just had to make sure because there's December 24th. Okay.
Did you know that in Europe they consider how we do back?
Yeah. Yeah. Alright. July 9th, 2018. In -8 instance abruptly manifested outside the office of Dr. Kells. This instance had been fatally wounded with a gunshot to the chest. Unlike all other -8 instances to date, it did not demanifest upon death. An autopsy revealed it to be an ordinary human female. Analysis of teeth and DNA revealed that she had grown up in West Africa at some point in the 13th century. Within the pockets of the instance suit was an unknown electronic apparatus, which had been damaged irreparably by the gunshot. A photograph of the location of the planned Site-89, as well as the 3 documents bearing an unknown Foundation letterhead. Their contents have been locked below. A notice to all Foundation personnel. December 9th, 2084. Hail to you all. Due to the recent fall of Hong Kong and the continuation GOC, the Alliance's communications network has been rapidly compromised by the other's forces. As a result, the use of all electronic devices for any communications purposes is ordered to immediately cease. Communication must revert back to physical forms such as printed paper. Some of you have expressed concerns over the feasibility under this new system of constructing our sites in Western Europe and the Americas. As well our Imperial allies, these individuals should remember that as long as we continue the strikes, we still have control over the means of communication. Letters to other Foundation sites and to the Empire should be sent through the proper channels. No exception or tolerance will be permitted. For alternative methods, we shall prevail. The Administrator.
The fuck happens in that future timeline?
I don't know. Oh, here we go. A message to the Overseer Council dated April 20th, 2085. Hail to you all. I know some of you are concerned with the recent events at Site-89. Be rest assured that there is no possibility of the Shah's forces taking the sites aside from upgrades to the Charding cannon implemented by Captain Afsane. The Mirage continues to hold steady, and the walls have not yet been breached. Events are continuing to go as well as expected. I have been made aware of objections to the continued presence of the apparatus at Site-89. Even if there was a slightest possibility of the Shah breaching the facility, I will remind you that we are still unable to break the protections left on it when the Horde buried it here, and it thus cannot move it. I am perfectly aware of the catastrophe that would ensue if it was taken, but I simply have no other option, even if there was a more secure site in existence or any way of remaining to safely transport it. Wait, the Golden Horde Blues. Oh, at least do a short song. Not song, story. Why did I say song? Alright, 10 to Europe and America, and leave Site-89 to me. We are the last facility capable of turning the tide in this war, and I intend to see that done. Focus on the continued military conversion, and on preventing the Shah or the true GOC from crossing the Rhine and the Rockies. The true GOC's increasing dominance of the skies has led me to entrust this to Lieutenant Inari. in whom I have more faith in than anyone to deliver this safely. Please order her return immediately upon receipt of this message. I do not want her away from Site-89 for too long. This siege requires a constant supply of good men, and I can't afford to lose anyone. We shall prevail, the Administrator.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright. Document 3. Dear Martha, it's been too long since I last saw you. I am so sorry I was not able to get there at the trail's start, but I hope you managed to get to the north safely. I know more than anyone how hard it is to get away from the Foundation these days, but if anyone can do it, then it's the Hand. The library is probably the only safe place left where none of them can get their claws into you. Okay, this is a Serpent's Hand message. I have some news, but you must not tell a soul in case the Administrator finds out. I should be with you soon. I won't tell you how too much stuff that could be deadly if this falls into the wrong hands. But it's almost bizarre that nobody's thought of this way before. I feel bad about leaving the Foundation like this, but I've got to get out somehow. I don't know how much longer I'll laugh, and expecting others to care is a luxury in this place. You might wonder why I don't just go home. When I tell you how I'm getting out, I do miss it, but things are more complicated than that. The stuff they put in my head changed the way I think, made me modern, made me unable to be what I once was. I can't go back to that world anymore. I can't see what it's like today. So, it's all been burnt in the war, and besides, I can hardly go without my dearest friend. It would be horrible to be permanently parted from you. There's so much to update you on. I visited the Turkmen front recently. Do you know it used to be called the Oria instead of the Area? An organization of the reclamation of Islamic artifacts rather than the Empire? Oh no. Oh, I don't like that. Yeah. You could learn so much doing this, it's almost enough to make me want to stay. Studying the history of these places is so necessary and so fascinating, and I made a new friend, a child in the hunger camps. Oh god. I can't take him with me, sadly, but he's such a pleasant child. He made me a straw doll. God alone knows where he got the materials. I know a letter like this is foolish and unnecessary, and I can hear you berating me, but I need to get this stuff out. I still feel guilty. I really do for leaving the Administrator. He needs us all. I know there have to be more bodies for the wall, but 89's worse than ever. It's just frost, smoke, and ice, all billowing upwards in weapons. There are still humans in the Shah's army, but they keep bombarding them with the worst of the sins. The cannon that warp reality, the mirage that drives them mad, and those terrible iron walls. Streaming blood from the constant fighting, they rise up and up forever, only breaking for more weaponry to poke through. I don't know how much of the world's coal supply is stored beneath it, but it seems to keep going on forever. I've enclosed a photograph of what the mirage looks like nowadays. It's quite ingenious. You can't even tell that there's anything there at all. They all know, of course, but by the time they've bypassed deception alchemy, they're too mad to put up too much of a fight. It's the only thing that stopped us from being completely overwhelmed by numbers, but it's not enough. I don't think the siege will ever end. I'm going to be sending this from London, and I hope it manages to reach you. I'm being sent to deliver a note to the L5s, so I'll try to cipher it there. With luck, I should be at the library in a month or two. I hope it's not too crowded there. I hope you're okay. I hope a lot of things. I wish I could stay. I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I can't stay on like this without losing everything. It's necessary, but I can't live as just another body. I'm thinking of you, Inari. Well, that's just sad. Yeah. Following this incident, Dr. Kells took the decision to cancel the planned construction of Site-89 and to forbid any further use of the item 89939, an attempt to prevent further 4989 manifestations. Well, it's gonna take a long ass time before that SCP gets made. Sorry. Addendum 4. On December 12th, 2018, and 4989 event occurred outside Dr. Kell's office at Site 875. This event was notable for the highly unusual pattern of behavior demonstrated by the 4989-8 instance, which communicated with Dr. Kells for several minutes. A video and audio feed have been installed by Dr. Kells in his office. A log of it can be found below. Hey, Jerry, since I know Hedge is not going to want to talk, do you want to be, the instance?
Sure.
Alright. Yeah, begin log. The video shows Dr. Kell's office. It is after dark, and only a couple small lamps, one in it on his desk, and one in a nearby bookcase, provide light. The room is consequently dim and dark. Dr. Kells is writing a report at his desk. After 19 seconds, and -8 instance hereby referred to as 4989-81 abruptly appears in front of Dr. Kell's desk. It stands facing Dr. Kells, looks up with a start. Well, I was wondering when the field would turn up. A1 does not. Yeah, huh?
Oh.
Yeah. A1 does not respond. I imagine you've got the people watching the precious Site-89. I imagined you have a whole host of spies located up and down layers of its construction. Well, unfortunately for you, I can put a stop to the whole thing right now. The apparatus isn't so important to us. A1 does not respond. If you're planning on doing something to me, then hurry up. You don't have all day, you know. But without me, there's no Site-89, an apparatus for you to get your hands on.
Oh, there will be, Simon.
A1 presses a point on the side of his neck, and the suit immediately begins to fold away from him. When it has fully come off him, a humanoid figure is revealed who looks identical to Dr. Kells. Dr. Kells abruptly starts and stands up, looking shocked. What kind of... How have you...
It's very simple. It's really very simple. Mind if I have a seat?
A1 takes a seat in an armchair in front of Dr. Kells' desk.
Tomorrow, your job as a provisional project manager ends. You'll become 054, and you'll fly over to Site-01 to be sworn in. It is there that you'll discover that the O5 Council has access to certain advanced technologies that allow them to extend their lifespan, to prevent any aging, to keep them from them constantly renewed at their own age. You'll have moral qualms about it at first, sure, but you'll do it in the end. It's for the greater good, after all.
A1 lights a cigarette and begins smoking. Dr. Kells slowly sits back down again.
The years will pass and you'll do well for yourself, very well. You'll end up being the chief member of the council, and one by one, as they get killed in some meaningless action or another, as they drop like flies, as they drop like the flies they are, there isn't enough substance for the newer members to be anything other than mediocrities. You'll end up as the last one left. The only one with power. The
administrator. You're the administrator.
Quite. And so are you, or you will be. The position will have been empty for a long time. But in times of war, as director is necessary. When it's done, I'll retire somewhere. Crozer Island, perhaps. We always did like the cold there. But until then, we need to win this war.
Director,
Don't say his name, please. It doesn't do good to remind the world of what he is and what he did. What matters is the enemy's at the door, and he's not happy.
Why do this? Why are you taking people?
Because I need bodies for the wall, and there are none. I'm trapped in the far, far north of Siberia at Site 89, and nobody can help us. The legions have the land, the traders have the sky, and the ice has the ocean. Nothing can get in or out of Site 89. The only people left have their own problems to deal with, thousands of miles away. I need manpower. I need manpower. I need bodies.
This, that is much stress.
Oh, undoubtedly. But you'll have been here too long to still have principles about these things. We take them. We put stuff in their heads to make them fight and understand. And we put them on the wall to fight, to man the cannon, to die. That's our world now. That's where your grand project will lead us. We will take the Foundation people where we can, or Oria people for the friends down south. But too much change at once is a shock to the system. So we have to spread it out a bit across time. We have to get ones who can hold a gun at least. Are you all right? You look quite pale.
You can change time. You can stop all of.
No, sorry, I really can't. You remember what happened to the last time you accidentally fucked the timeline up? Your career took decades to recover after that blunder. Besides, it wouldn't work. The timeline has ways of correcting itself. The most damage we've done is almost screwing the fall of Rome up by messing up the late Maya, who were doomed anyway. You can't get the staff, you see. Training these idiots is just too much.
Shut up. Just shut up. Let me think.
Take your time, I'm in no hurry. I can travel in time after all.
There is silence for several minutes. A1 continues smoking. You'll what I turn into.
Don't act so.
Oh, shut up, you smug little. Look, what the hell do you want from me? If everything really is so hard to change, why should what I do alter anything? What is this?
I know for a fact it changes things, because I remember being you.
There is silence for several minutes. What?
I remember sitting where you're sitting. I remember, well, I don't fully remember. I think I might have changed something around this time, but I remember myself sitting here, full of outrage and indignation as I argued against the inevitable, and the version of me that came from the future changed my mind. I stopped the cancellation of Site 89. I took a seat on the council, and I did what I had to be done, because it does have to be done.
Still people from the past.
I told you I need bodies. None of you need them, caught up from your primitive tribal wars with one another, or containing little breaks of anti-memes or statues. You think the conceptual nightmares of Hindu snake gods which haunt your waking thoughts survived? The shot is in everything, is in our heads, our hollow hearts. He can't be stopped, except by bodies thrown against him, except by this desperation.
No, don't know that.
I do, I've seen him.
There is silence for several seconds. You'll sing.
It was the 5th year of the war, on a snowy day. Those early years were pure carnage. I was leading our forces in a massive offensive against their position in Altai Shan. Altai Shan. We thought we'd finally made some headway in this campaign. After years of failure, his forces were retreating. We'd won the day, and then he came. I saw him, Simon. I saw what he was. I saw all the bile, the howling, the hate-filled rage of his thing that men had made. It was like staring at a pattern screamer, but more hollow. I understood then what I'd told myself so long ago. As we fled, our minds on the edge of madness, I vowed that we would never lose. We would not fall. We would prevail. I understood the truth of the world that day. It's meaningless. It's desperation, like the dark eyes of an eel in those when we cling screaming to life. I won't go like that. We will prevail.
Must have tried something else. What about?
Anything you suggest has already been tried. I or one of the others, or someone in the Empire, or the fucking GOC pretenders in Hong Kong. Rights, mercy, ethics, tolerance. These are peacetime things. What we need now is bodies. What we need now is meat. This is war, and I don't care what happens as long as one of us stands upon the body of Sean's last follower and still be alive.
Ewan stubs out a cigarette and rises, standing over Dr. Kell's desk.
You have to give Saeed and I the go-ahead. You have to keep letting us take your soul. We'll be careful. We'll make sure nothing too deadly gets loose. And you can always recruit more. You have all the manpower in the world.
A silence ensues for several moments. I can just do that. It's not... I'm not...
You're making exactly the same whimpering noises I made. And I know what I did, Simon Kells. I know what I am, and I know what you'll do. What you have always done. Every time, every slightly altered iteration had this talk.
Anyone begins to walk away, Dr. Kells is silent.
Be seeing you, in a matter of speaking.
A1 abruptly demanifests. Dr. Kells is left alone, staring at the snow outside his window. After several minutes, he presses a button on the underside of his desk, deactivating the camera. Alright, I want to go see what the red Shaw is, because it did have a link. Wait. Oh, it's the Scarlet King!
Oh!
Oh, so that's what happened. The Scarlet King came to Earth. Yeah, that makes sense now. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. Alright. This is the final part of the article. Welcome, Overseer. At 6:23 the next morning, Foundation personnel entered Dr. Kell's office to find that he had died by suicide, using a standard-issue firearm. A short note was left by Dr. Kells to explain his actions. I know you're never going to read this. You're not even going to have ever existed in a minute. But having considered the matter deeply, I think that you're talking a lot of other horseshit. I believe you've seen the Shaw. I believe you've been tortured by what you saw. I believe everything you tell me is completely true, my dear Simon. But that doesn't somehow make it true. Your mind's too small for that. All our minds are. You'll never see any truth beyond your own eyes. You know why old men are so conservative, so backwards? It's not because of the wisdom experience, it's because they don't know how to be anything else. They've seen so many disappointments, it's so much of the same old life, that they can't conceive of anything else. Mine's narrow to the point that any darkness is considered the ultimate truth. And it's all you are, Simon, an old man. You sink into darkness and mistake it for some ultimate truth, some nihilistic revelation of bitterness that comforts you to sleep. But just because you can see something in your frail little mind, you assume it never could be. You made this, Simon. We were too weak. You turned humans into objects, into livestock. You smashed your training into their brains, turned medieval women into modern warriors. You kept them as chained prisoners, took away their personhood, took away who they were. You think that's how you win a war? There's always another way than this. There's always a way out. Your petty fascism is the mark of incompetence, of hysteria and cynicism. And the pain of failing wrapped in a madness that looks, if you're the right kind of fool, like a rational truth. But people can't live like that. If you give them hope, if you give them a future, if you made them people, then there's nothing that they wouldn't withstand.
Make them rise with one heart and voice under the band of truth. The shawl is small, the shawl is made of our weaknesses. You're wrong, Simon, and you always will be. You see, what's become very clear over the course of this conversation is that I'm really not the man for the job. The problem isn't the shawl's strength. It's your own. It's mine. Ours. After I let loose the snowfall, I vowed I'd never let this kind of hateful purity of thought infect me. But here we are again. After all of this time, the same old mistakes. So someone needs to remove us from the picture. The timeline will change, of course. There's no stopping that, but I fail to see any worse outcome than this. We may be gone, but someone else will step up. Because someone always does. Because we're people, and when the Scarlet King comes to take us all, we'll be ready. We'll be fighting. And we'll be so very human. I'd say see you in hell, but where you're going, there isn't even that. Hells.
So, he offed himself before he became a fascist. Alright, so we did get another link that goes to the Golden Horde Blues, which is rather short. Maybe it can tell us, hopefully, what the Golden Horde is? What they stand for and everything? Hold on. Alright, so, I'll read this and see what we think. Alright. Golden Horde Blues. Look, I'm gonna level with you. The Romans perfected time travel. Did it sometime around 107 BC. Somehow between reorganizing the army and becoming consul, Marius found the time, no pun intended, to develop mass practical chronotransit. Yes, we have proof. No, you're not cleared for it, and you wouldn't believe me if I showed it to you. No, it has nothing to do with the Library of Alexandria. Look, the point is they have never got around to using it. And about 1,000 years later, the device had made its way to Baghdad when the Mongols invaded. We haven't heard of the Great Mongol Time armies because Genghis didn't see too many applications for the thing. Took too long to figure out how to operate, for one, and besides, why mess around with barbarian technology when a horse would take you anywhere you wanted to go? But when the Great Khan died, after falling off a horse of all things, he asked for an unmarked grave, and by God, an unmarked grave is what he was going to get. His most trusted adjutants started looking for a burial spot nobody to find, somewhere suitable for a really eternal rest. That's when some enterprising captain turned to the machine to find a future where the Khan had been forgotten. Kinda makes sense. Genghis could rest all the better if they let time do the hard work of erasing his name first. Rule number 1 of this post is that we don't know a lot about these guys, where and when they've been or are going, how they survived, even how they've been navigating all this time. Mongols aren't much for writing things down, and as the Horde has never stayed in the timeline for more than 24 hours, we've never gotten a hold of one to ask him anything. We know that the departure was successful because they keep making social calls. Jumped in 3 times so far, in 1631 outside Magdeburg, and out again in Japan during the Warring States business. Left pretty quick both times, presumably as soon as they figured out that the Mongols weren't forgotten. Our only first-hand information comes from the Ulan Batar sighting in 1985. That's how we know they've learned to read. Containment has 2 parts. Each level emits a specialized radiation that the scientists upstairs monitor. If they manifest, and MTF will go and check things out, and don't hold your breath. Second part is keeping Genghis' memory alive so that they don't stop roaming. That's where you and I come in. We're low-key, it's accounting work really. Sponsor a blockbuster here, fund a grant there. We've got about $20 million in our endowment, but don't let that go to your head. Director, starring Garrow informs me that the upper management would love to give us the X, liquidate our budget, and assign the case to general monitoring, that nobody's less likely to be forgotten than Temujin. Maybe they're right, the Foundation deals with 100 critters a day more likely to do more damage than a little horde that could. I say go ahead and read about the sack of Baghdad and the fall of Tanga Empire in the Battle of Leipzig, and the depopulation of Persia, not to mention the destruction of Magdeburg, which I know our boys had a hand in, even if there's no records of it. You ask me if it's not the public we're here to remind. Eventually the horde is going to stop. If the machine doesn't break, they'll find the oblivion they're looking for, or get tired of wondering and stop anyway. Think 200 Mongols couldn't cause too much trouble anyhow. Remember, we're talking about 200 of the fiercest and smartest of the horde, which conquered everything from Korea to Kiev, who broke empires with bows of their Khan when he was alive, and are journeying hundreds of years for him now that he's dead, who have no fear of the future and know just what our world has to offer, who have 500,000 loyal soldiers waiting back in 2027 and access to a time machine. You think they'll just go on home after a trip like that? How does this little document here have the most information for this GOI?
Probably because it's a Probably because it's a story that's actually about the GOI.
Yeah, and it's not even listed on here. Oh, wait, yeah, it is. God damn it. That's probably the one we should have clicked first. But oh well.
Probably.
Yeah. So do we think we got... I think we got a good amount of information. What do you guys think?
Depending on how we place them, because they are
Yeah.
people who were affiliated with and loyal to Genghis Khan, of all
Yeah.
people. I want to put them in either incompetent neutral or incompetent evil.
I think incompetent neutral, mainly because based on that document, they haven't outright attacked anyone. They're just looking for a burial spot.
Right.
They're not, yeah. So
Right.
that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Incompetent neutral.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but
The guy who was like
Technically, Genghis Khan did good things.
yes, and he also committed some of the worst atrocities imaginable.
Yeah.
yeah, didn't
We
did
we have we have accounts of women in villages that he was going to killing themselves before he got there so that they weren't sexually assaulted. Like there's no way to place Genghis Khan other than in the evil category. So the question is do we separate these guys trying to do something on behalf of Genghis Khan from Genghis Khan's actions? And I don't know which is better. Because like we're talking about folks who are trying to honor the dying wish of the guy who committed so much sexual assault that he's like 20% of the current human population has some of his DNA in them.
Yeah. Wait, also, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he also kind of somewhat invented biological warfare by tossing bodies of the bubonic plague into cats?
Yes, and he is one of the few people in those eras that purposely used it, because a lot of times when it happened, it wasn't on purpose. He did it on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I'd be pretty dead set on incompetent evil, honestly.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like the group itself, as they exist now, they're not hurting anyone anymore.
Yeah.
But they did.
Yeah. Also, before we go to the next one, I have a feeling the next one could be the last one tonight.
Like
Mhm.
imagine
Yeah.
it's obviously not wholly comparable, but
Mhm.
like where would we put uh a group of interest that was a time traveling group of SS soldiers carrying around the remains of Hitler, trying to
Yeah.
find a good place to bury him.
Right. Yeah.
Like where would we put that?
Yeah. Also, I love how in SCP universe, apparently the Romans created time machines.
That is very funny.
Yeah.